17 wrapping up, and we have a day to discuss. We have a couple of days to discuss, in fact. Welcome to the Favorites presented by DraftKings. I'm your host, Brandon Kravitz. I feel like we have not talked in days. I'm joined by my fellow degenerates, Kendra Middleton and Stuckey. We've got our goats and wotes queued up, our biggest takeaways from the Christmas slate, the Saturday slate, and we'll spend most of our time on the Sunday card that we just witnessed. Plus, we've got a fast pass parlay for you for Rams, Falcons. How was everyone's day? Kendra, how was your Christmas? Give me a nice little bow on what maybe we've missed the last couple of days.
I am ready for this week to be over. I hate Christmas. It's the worst. And I had a bad week. So I'm ready for this week to be over. I'm ready for it to be next year. I have nothing nice to say, so I'm not going to say anything at all.
You've had yourself a successful season as well. So I don't know if I were you, if I'd be that quick to remove myself from the 2025 season, but we've got one more week of regular season action, and then we'll discuss a postseason schedule when we get there. But Stuckey, what about you? How was your Christmas? How was your betting week?
Good week. Been a good run lately, so hope to keep it going, but it's always on to the next. I love this time of the year for figuring out. I love like playoff simulations, and this week coming up is all about figuring out who is going to rest their starters and who is not, because everything is pretty much decided besides the obvious, right? Like you're going to have San Francisco, Seattle potentially for the division, and for the 1 seed loser then drops to 6 and then maybe goes to Philly. You have Baltimore, Pittsburgh for the division, Carolina, Tampa, who might be the two worst teams in the division, by the way, playing for the division. Maybe if the Falcons win out, Panthers win the division no matter what. I don't know if everyone knows that. So if the Atlanta beats the Rams tomorrow night, and the Rams have no shot of winning the division if San Francisco wins tonight because Seattle won, just throwing that out there. But like it's just trying to figure that out. How much are teams going to value like going up to the 5, potentially going up to the 5 line, or staying at the 6 or risk dropping to the 7? Like a team like the Chargers, right? They can't win the division now. How do they treat next week's game? Because you could go up to the 5 seed. That could mean, hey, we're going to Pittsburgh, but it also could mean you're going to Baltimore. So maybe we just say, let's rest our starters and make sure Herbert, and we don't have any more injuries on the offensive line. The Rams, for example, I could ramble about this for days. We'll do that on the podcast this week. But the Rams, for example, McVay historically almost always rests his starters no matter what. Like, obviously, if it's for the division or for a bye, it's different. But, like, when it just comes to, like, all right, I can go up a seed or two, he says, no, I always choose health. I don't care where we have to play. But in the NFC, it's a pretty big difference between the 5 and the 6, because the 5 means you're going to the NFC South, the ugly prom queen, or you're going to Philly. So, like that's trying to figure all that out. Green Bay, for example, if you're LaFleur, you rest everybody. You're the 7. And I think he hinted at this, but last year they played same exact scenario, and Watson tore his ACL. They have so many injuries. You rest everyone. You put Clayton Tune out there. Clayton Tune, Max Brosmer, meaningless week 18. What a game. I can't wait to dig into all that, which we'll get to with the podcast. But it was a decent week, and it's on to the next.
I do think that we should give you the floor again before we wrap to just see if we can go through a couple of these scenarios and see if there's any value that we should be mopping up. You don't spend a lot of time on the Sunday episode looking ahead to the next week, but this would be a really good week to do that before all of the games are even wrapped up for exactly those reasons. So we'll get back to that in just a moment. Second week in a row where I have cooked our parlay. Might have to sit out for week 18. Those damn Panthers. I'll start with my wote. Is Carolina, who has won me a lot of money this year. I did the Action Network 2025 Wrapped thing. The team in sports, baseball, basketball, football, that made me the most money this year was the Carolina Panthers. However, we needed them today to come through, and it's not like it was just a bad read. I got closing line value. The game closed at 6.5, got it at 7.5. They had opportunity after opportunity in the first half, and then had a chance to cover through the back door at the end of the game, and was just not able to get it done. A horrible game from Bryce Young, and neither of these teams, the Bucks, who lost to the Dolphins, got the cover there, but neither of these teams deserve to win the NFC South. Neither of these teams deserve to be in the playoffs. Very salty about the Sad Cats today, so I'll
Well, you
start
thought
on
you
the
thought you
negative
thought
end.
Bryce Young had a bad game, 14 to 24 for 54 yards. You thought
Yeah,
that
it was
a bad
pretty.
game?
Yeah, it was pretty awful, pretty abysmal. Opportunities to drive down the field with Sam Darnold looking like he was seeing ghosts in the first half. I thought the defense played great, and Bryce Young was just a bag of shit today. It was awful. Kendra, what about you?
My vote is myself. I chased some incentives that came out for players and it did not work out in my favor and it caused my day to go to shit. So it's me for chasing incentives. My goat is gonna
Who
be
was
the
that?
Saints.
Wait, can we stop there? Who was the number one incentive chase that you regret the most?
Hunter Henry. Hunter
I
Henry
don't even,
for sure.
what was his
He needed
incentive?
he needs 8 catches before the end of the year to hit like a $500,000 incentive,
Yeah.
and his total for today I think was 4.5. And I hit the over because I figured that with their injuries on the offensive line and all of their injuries at receiver, that it would have been a Hunter Henry day. And for some fucking reason, they put up 9,000 points, and my man had like 2 catches. And then I also had Sam Darnold for 2 touchdowns passing. I think he needs 4 total to hit an incentive. So, yeah, super fun. It's funny because last year for me was like I could not hit a spread to save my life and I was all player props and I won all of my money on player props, and this year's been the exact opposite. I've been hitting on spreads and dying with player props. I also last minute got in on the Bills. And so that sucked. But yeah, that's how my week has gone.
Bills,
Right.
by the way, 8 drives into Philly territory, 12 points. They lose because they got an extra point blocked. The Eagles win another game that they shouldn't have won. I mean, they did 17 plays for 17 yards. Hurts incomplete a pass in the second half, 0 for 7, and they win, I think, a third game of the year because of a blocked extra point or field goal.
Well, he also had a Josh Allen pass to
A
Khalil
wide
Shakir
open.
that, yeah, he was wide open. That was just even with all of that, still had an opportunity on the last play of the game to win.
Yeah, but another thing worth mentioning in that game, the Bills probably win easily if Allen could move. His foot injury was definitely a thing, and he just didn't have the same burst. So, Buffalo, week 18, who did they host? The Jets, I think. Oh, Jesus Christ. That team is an abomination. Yeah, they host the Jets. I mean, you could go out there and play quarterback and beat the Jets maybe, but I assume you rest
Thank you.
down here. I mean, I think they're the 7 seed right now. The difference, and they don't have the tiebreaker over the Texans or the Chargers. Like, so
Mm-mm.
maybe they could jump up if the Texans lose, but the Texans play at home against the Colts, and Riley Leonard's going to start. So maybe you can jump up to the 6th. But honestly, I don't think Buffalo's afraid of going to New England or Denver.
I think that
I
they
think the team you
probably
don't want to
want to
play
go
is
to New
Jacksonville right
England.
now. So I think you rest everyone if you're Buffalo.
Yeah, I agree.
What about you, Stucky, as far as a vote goes for today?
Uh, Woat is my GOAT is, you mentioned the action wrap. My most profitable team in back-to-back years, the Cleveland Browns. So my GOAT is the Cleveland Browns. My guy Howard Fannin did enough. He was in there for only a quarter.
That's
Did
I
all you
didn't
enough.
get
needed.
offered to do this. What are you guys talking? I have FOMO. What the fuck is going on?
For what?
Wait, yeah, it's that. Is that what
What
we
is
have
an
to ask
action
production?
wrapped? Am I old? What the fuck?
Do you know what Spotify Wrapped is? Are you
Yeah,
familiar with
Steve.
that?
Yeah, you just pull up your
It's
app
the
and
same
then
thing.
on the when
just
you
on
just go to My
action.
Action, you'll see it at the top. It says how you bet in 2025.
Oh,
And then it'll
wow.
go
We're
through
gonna
like
learn
your
this
best
in real
sports.
Oh wait, you're
time.
doing this. This is still available. Yeah, I guess the
Yeah.
year isn't
Yeah, it's
over
available
yet.
till the end of the year.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna need an
Shout out
update on
Scotty.
this.
He helped develop that years ago. But the Browns have been my most powerful team. Mainly, I just fade them on the road and bet them at home. Nothing, nothing earth shattering. But that game, and my woe is the Raiders. I mean, I love the Raiders this week, and then they decide to fully outwardly tank. I bet them before all this happened. They shut down Crosby. Are we becoming the NBA? Like this? This is the week 17. It's not even week 18. And
Yeah, I can't
Crosby
figure out
wanted to
which is the
play.
bigger tank move: benching Crosby or still deciding to play Geno Smith.
We shut down Bowers. chin, like that was embarrassing. And then the NFL has that as one of the two games in the 4 o'clock slate. And when the other is the Eagles, the most boring team in the NFL,
Was
for the
this the
first time in a
worst
long time,
of
I
all the
fell asleep for
bad
10 minutes.
for all the bad 4 o'clocks that we've had, all the bad late windows that we've had this season? This has been a theme on this podcast. I was bitching about this. Was this the worst one
This
of all
I
of
felt
them?
I never sleep. I never fall asleep. I don't think I've ever missed an NFL window in my life, or since I was in middle school. Watched every primetime game, every single. I never fall. I don't think I've fallen asleep. I woke up like in the missed like 8 minutes in the third quarter because it was the only game. I turned Red Zone off and then just had one screen, so it was going to commercials. I'm not used to watching commercials uh, and dozed off.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a brutal slate. But yeah, my goat is the Browns. I've wrote about this for 10 years. I've talked about it on Twitter for 15. Teams that need to win for their playoff hopes playing eliminated teams. Those eliminated teams now are 112 over the final 2 weeks of the regular season, 112, 69 and 1 against the spread, 61.5% or somewhere around there. So yeah, this week, Vikings at home against the Lions, Dolphins against the Bucks, and the Browns against the Steelers went 3-0. And yeah, I mean the Steelers, it was embarrassing. What might get the Ravens into the playoffs is the the Detroit fan who baited Metcalf
That
into
was so
that
fucked
punch
up.
because the Steelers offense without Metcalf, it because you could just watch like when teams are at the goal line, right? You'll have a corner and then a safety over top. He draws attention. They have nobody who can get open, who can beat man coverage. Nobody. I mean, Adam Thielen and Scotty Miller and MVS. No one can get open. That was just an abysmal game plan from the Steelers. They were so worried about Myles Garrett getting his record that they might have cost themselves a playoff berth. But I guess Tomlin got his 9 wins, and that's all that matters. But that was in bad. Like that's all they were worried about. And then you let the Browns beat you and hold you to 6 points. So, yeah, Cleveland gets it done at home again, despite just their offense. They have nothing on offense without Fannin, and Fannin got hurt. If he's out next week, they probably get their doors blown off in Cincy. Um, so yeah, my goat is the Cleveland Browns, and my goat. I joined you on. I ended up joining you on the Dolphins today.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
goat right now might
We
be
did
Baker
it.
Mayfield. I mean that team is like a bottom 5 team right now.
Yeah,
They
we're
are
gonna have to spend a moment deciding. I
pitiful.
might end up betting the Panthers before the end of this podcast. Kendra, before we move off of this, I see the
Wait,
excitement on your
yeah.
face. I want the
I
update on the action bet year
I want
wrapped.
you guys to guess my top team and my bottom team.
Your top team would be anyone playing the Patriots. Um, I
Your
wouldn't
bottom
go.
team is the Patriots, probably.
Your top team would be No, you don't bet the Jags that much. I'm gonna have a hard
No
time. I'm
way
gonna
it's
go
the
with
Jags.
you bet the Bengals today. I know you got a win under your belt there. I believe
Yeah, it
you've been
doesn't.
on
This
them.
today doesn't count. It's like based on
Okay, all
something a
right.
week ago.
Seahawks.
Correct, Kravitz.
I pay
Yes, it was the
attention. I pay
Seahawks.
attention.
Who do you think? My worst team was not the Patriots, and I am shocked. It was the Cowboys.
Yeah. We've all gotten drunk on the Cowboys.
Yeah, yeah.
Makes
I
sense.
just like it with Dak Prescott was having like an MVP first half, and then I got, you know.
How much fun was that to look through that?
It was cutie. I liked her. I liked it. We should do that again next year. I like it.
We should
We do it
definitely. I
every
think all three we should do it. We should do it on the podcast together.
Yeah, we
I think that'd be
should.
a fun way to do
Agree.
it.
That would be fun. I didn't know that it was a thing, and you guys were talking about it, and I was like, "Wait, am I old? What is going on?"
So my goat would be Drake May. I was thinking as I'm watching him light up the Jets and didn't even play the fourth quarter, by the way. He had 2 incompletions, 5 touchdown passes, didn't play a whole quarter. And I'm thinking, okay, this guy's locked up the MVP. And Matt Stafford's still a heavy favorite to win the MVP. So I guess blasting the Jets doesn't exactly do it for the odds makers out there, but
I talked about this yesterday
toss.
on a show that I did, and everyone seems to be under the impression that if it's even close, they're gonna give it to Stafford because he's old. And
Yeah,
it's
it's
like,
kind of like a career award.
yeah.
I mean, May has also played the easiest schedule of any team over the past 30 years. I don't know how the Patriots to manage to play 13 backup quarterbacks in a 17 game schedule, but they did. Um,
I feel like the argument is pretty even, though. Obviously, that's the knock against May is his schedule. He doesn't have Puka Nakua and Devontae Adams and Sean McVay calling plays.
yeah, no, they
So
doesn't
I
have
think
as
there's
good
a
of a running
balance there.
game, not as good of an offensive line. But I mean, these things are sometimes just career awards, they're narrative awards. Oh, this guy hasn't got it in a while. Um, I actually think that it probably is May, who's been. I mean, you think about it, the offensive line is not great. The wide receiver room, it's not anywhere close to the Rams. The running game is not overly efficient. The defense isn't outstanding by any stretch. Yes, they've had a very easy schedule, but he's been tremendous. I think, like in a vacuum, May deserves it, but I can see why Stafford is the favorite. Maybe that's a reason. I don't know. I mean, maybe that plays into what the Rams do over the final 2 weeks because the Rams legitimately McVay always opts for rest. And if the 49ers win tonight, like there is I mean, like how much do you value going from the 6 to the 5? That's the only decision for the Rams left this season. But yeah,
I mean, May is plus 180. Maybe there's some value there. If let's say Stafford plays poorly on Monday night and then doesn't even play next week, and May has another good game. That
I have
plus
no idea.
180
That's
could be.
awards aren't my specialty, so I don't even know what's fair there.
Will
When
who's
we're
the
down to two, it's
primetime
easy. Go
who's
ahead.
primetime this week? Because that might let us know ahead of time if they need to win. Oh, everything's flexed, so we don't know
Yeah,
what time.
you don't know the schedule
We have
yet.
no
Know
idea.
the schedule tomorrow night during Monday Night
Yeah,
Football.
I was gonna say, once we know the schedule, like we can figure out if the Patriots will have the opportunity to rest people or not.
There's two lines that I want to talk about before we get to Sunday Night Football and our Monday Night Football Fast Pass parlay. The Bucks opened as 3.5 point favorites at home against the Carolina Panthers. The Ravens are 3 point favorites in Pittsburgh. Lamar is supposed to be back for this game, so that's definitely a
The new Cam
factor.
Rising, this Lamar Jackson thing every week, if you follow college football. But now, Kendra, I will say there are obvious primetime flexes because we have
Yeah.
Yeah, we have two
Panthers,
playoff games.
Bucks, Ravens, Steelers, and then Seahawks, 49ers.
But
So
It's Chargers Broncos.
yeah, I mean that game's not that intriguing because the Broncos already won the division. Um, but the NFL will make sure that the other games, the first priority is like, hey, let's flex. We'll sacrifice competitive advantage because we want the best game in prime time. Because at the end of the day, it's about ratings. So those are the three nominees. The rest of the games, they'll all be at the same time. So like they will force the Broncos and Patriots both to
Yeah,
play
I
their
just
starters.
wonder because that kind of answers like two of the three, but I don't know what the third will be for prime time.
No, that's going to be all three. Seattle, San Fran,
Even
because
though
these
Seattle
games.
San Fran might not matter.
No, it's going to matter no matter what. But it might if if San Francisco wins tonight, and it does, then the Rams have nothing to play for next week except seeding. But that game will matter for the division, um, and um, and one seed, I think. But the Patriots and the Broncos games are not going to go into prime time, so they'll play at the same time because they can't have one of those teams get the rest of their starters because of the one seed. And then like the rest of the games will all be at the same time. But Ravens minus 3.5. I mean, the Metcalf injury is huge. I mean, if he might be worth like a couple points to the spread. But we don't know on Lamar Jackson. And if Lamar Jackson does play, which version is he? I mean, like the Huntley that we saw yesterday is better than the hobbled version of Lamar that we've seen. So tough game to crack, but I don't trust it. I don't trust that Steelers offense without Metcalf. It is brutal.
But I would file this under. I did not play into this the last time these two teams played, but you have Harbaugh and Tomlin head to head with a spread that's at least 3. You take the dog, and you have the Steelers at home here. Conventional wisdom would say bet the Steelers.
No.
conventional. I'm not saying it's the play.
I
I'm
don't think
not.
there's anything to do early here. I mean, we don't know in Lamar. Um, I think 3 is about right. So, I mean, if you wanted to take the hook, fine. Um, but that's going to decide so many. Like in the AFC, the difference between going. Think about it. Like right now, we don't even know the quarterback the Ravens are, and the spread is 3.5 in Pittsburgh. That 5 seed, like the difference between going to Baltimore and Pittsburgh is massive. Um, but Evan, and then Tampa. I mean, who wants to bet? Tampa hasn't covered in 2 months. They haven't covered 8 straight games.
Right.
Their ass.
And
They
they
are
are giving you
so
the hook.
bad.
They're giving you the hook on this one. This one's available on DraftKings right now, +3.5 on the Carolina Panthers. I'm just gonna go ahead and plant my flag on that now.
Yeah, no kidding. The meltdown of Bucks Twitter over Liam Cohen has been.
I mean, take a look at Liam Cohen leaving. Look at Baker this year. Look at Trevor Lawrence this year. And then look at the Lions and what has happened to the Lions offense. There's other things, the offensive line, but look at what's happened to the Bears after Ben Johnson left and the Lions. Those were two of the best offensive minds in the NFL leaving jobs in the offseason, and their teams that they left have cratered, and the teams that
I mean, yeah,
they
you could
went
expect
to,
that more with the Lions, though, losing both of them.
yeah,
And
but I
they
mean the
and
offense is
that
just
team still
not.
can't stay healthy. They weren't able to stay healthy last year, and it cost them. They weren't able to stay healthy this year, and it cost
Yeah,
them
there's
this
other
year.
factors. Their offensive line isn't as good, but you can just tell it's just not the offense isn't the same without Johnson. And the Bears' offense obviously has gone through the roof. So, but the Liam Cohen effect, you can go back years. You can go back to Cohen coming to Kentucky 1 year, leaving, coming back. Whenever he goes, the offense improves. When he leaves, it goes down the drain. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think numbers wise, I think 3 makes sense on both games, but I would not bet the Bucks with your money. I'll tell you that.
A cool stat I saw from the Jags PR Twitter about Liam Cohen. He's the only first-year head coach in NFL history to win 12 plus games after taking over a team that won 4 or fewer the year prior. That is impressive stuff. And he's probably not even going to win Coach of the Year. Also, Evan Abrams shares in our chat here that the Buffalo Bills line against the Jets has already moved 3 points. It went 9.5 to 12.5 as we are talking. So um, I don't usually advise getting a lot down on Sunday night, but if you have a good read on how some of these teams are going to play these situations out, this might be the day to do it because this is going to be Stucky. Would you at least agree with the general idea that this will be the wildest line movement week of the entire NFL season across the board from
Yeah,
now
yeah, of
until
course.
next Sunday? Okay.
Yeah, of
So if
course.
you feel like you have a good beat on that, then this is the week to take advantage of it. Usually, I mean, these lines move, but they don't move drastically outside of injury. We're going to see some wild stuff.
Yeah, but it's going to be based off of uh, availability reports and what coaches say. You're going to see a lot of line movement. Obviously, as if you have quarterbacks who don't end up starting, you'll see massive swings. Going back to Evan to bring you in here, I glance at the schedule real quick. So I'm doing this on the fly. Sadly, we don't have any games next week where teams that are eliminated are playing teams that need to win, right?
Don't think so off the
That's sad.
first
That's my favorite
glance.
part of week 17 and 18.
We got it out of the way with a 3-game sweep, though, so we'll take it.
Yes. But I mean,
Yeah,
next
you get
week,
to
yeah,
add
you have,
three. You get to add 3 wins to the ledger there on that trend.
there are just next week, you have like a couple, 3 really high profile, high leverage games. And then the rest of the card is, for example, like if you're the Eagles playing the, the Commanders, the Eagles right now are the 3 seed. If the Bears lose tonight, the Eagles are still the 3 seed. And if the Bears win tonight, the Eagles are locked into the 3 seed. But let's say the Bears, who are underdogs, lose tonight. Then Philly has to make a decision. Do we play our starters next week with the hope, risking injury, with the hope that the Bears lose to the Lions at home? because the Bears have the tiebreaker over the Eagles. So, yeah, I could see Philly resting starters next week.
That
So
line is
the
also
offense
not
will,
up right now as we speak, probably for that reason.
if the Eagles rest starters, their offense will probably look better. So take that for what it's worth.
Let's get to we got our Sunday night football preview and a Monday night football fast pass parlay to get to, but first let's toss it over to Kendra Middleton for a word about DraftKings.
The Favorites podcast is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook, and in partnership with DraftKings, our listeners get a great offer. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 back in bonus bets if your bet wins. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports and have the shot to win cash prizes. To get started, use promo code FAVORITES when signing up with DraftKings. Again, use code favorites when signing up and bet $5 to get $200 back in bonus bets if your bet wins. The crown is yours.
All right, thanks, Kendra. But Brandon, you wanted to talk about the high-profile games. I want to talk about these two spreads. Ola Dukin, 6-point road favorite in Vegas. What number do you need to play Vegas, who is obviously trying to lose and sitting out players? And I mean, Ola Dukin is a 6-point road favorite.
Did they not Did they not already lock up the number one pick though? Wait, what's
No,
the
I
point?
think the Giants get it if the Giants lose and the Raiders win.
Mm-hmm.
Evan, can you check that?
I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Even though the
Our
Giants would have the head to head.
I think with the loss today, the Raiders get it, but maybe I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
Are you
I
sure?
believe so. Wouldn't the first tiebreaker be head to head and the Giants beat the Raiders, so the Giants wouldn't then jump the Raiders?
I thought the Giants had to lose today. I hate this crap. At the end of the season, when you're like, what is going on? Who's going where? It's so stressful.
I kind of like getting a Kenny
Ducky's
Pickett-led
right.
Raiders team.
I don't think it's
+6.
head to head for that though.
Ducky's right. With the loss today to the Giants, the Raiders now have an 80% chance to secure the number one pick. So
Yeah,
I believe
the Raiders
they
have to
can
lose
that
next
game.
week to guarantee it. So they'll be in full tank. Like who wants to bet the Raiders next week? But who wants to lay? You want to lay 6 with a little Dukin? I don't. That game. That'll go in the late slate. That's the 4 o'clock. The Raiders, get the Raiders out of my life with these 2 and 3 game late slates, and it's the Raiders. We just completely awful
That game should be canceled. The last time the Raiders had the number one pick, by the way, anybody want to take a gander at who they took?
Jamarcus.
That would be the one. Last time they had done it was the only time the Raiders have ever had the number one pick. They took Jamarcus Russell.
My other favorite game is I know that the Vikings O'Connell came out and said he wants JJ to play in the finale for like another data point, but there is a chance that right now Clayton Tune is a 6-point favorite over the Packers, who are obviously going to rest everybody. That their team next week will look like a practice squad team. With who came in again for them? No, it's Brosmer is a 6-point
Brosmer
favorite.
against like Clayton Tune.
Brosmer's a 6-point favorite over Clayton Tune. Could be JJ. But think about Brosmer. They just had 3 net passing yards listed as a potential 6-point favorite. But yeah, I mean, how do you play the Packers? But there's a number. There's a price for everything. I'll say that. That's what I got to figure out this week. Like
Evan, I have a suggestion for the primer. I would love to know if there's a way trend wise to bet into these totals with teams that are benching players, because you would think that things are going to look a lot more like the preseason. And if these numbers are still sitting around the 50s, I feel like there's going to be some value on unders going into week 18, but I don't know that.
Most of the games that are garbage that don't matter, though, are sitting at 39, 37, 35. So they're very much priced in. But for you, Brandon, anything.
Wow, you were too kind. All right, let's
Evan,
talk
what's
about
the Raiders total? 33 indoors?
35.5 right now.
I mean, that game is something. Because the Chiefs want to lose too. Like they wanted to beat the Broncos on Christmas night, but they want the best. That we have the Raiders finishing back-to-back games against teams that want to lose. Although the Giants are too stupid of an organization to lose back-to-back years.
Gray anytime touchdown with Travis Kelce sitting. Goodbye.
I mean, we got Giants Cowboys at
To be
52 and a
fair,
half. Those teams have nothing to play
I actually
for.
respect the Giants for trying and playing. This isn't the NBA. There's only 18 weeks. But back-to-back years, almost 1 year to the day apart, Giants win a game and lose the number one pick, potentially. But I'm assuming
To,
that they will hold on.
to be fair, I don't even think it really matters because it's not like the Giants need a quarterback and that's what the Raiders are going to want. So like it doesn't even matter.
But I mean, it does for like leverage. Like if you think of like you could trade it,
Yeah.
and you could trade back and like, because what does this win really mean? But I respect teams for playing and but from an organization perspective, it probably didn't make the most sense. Like you should have just put Russ out there or
Is Pete Carroll done? Yeah,
I think
has to
he's
be.
done. Yeah, he's done. And they're going to draft a new quarterback too. So they're going to want to get him a new shiny offensive coach too as well. Yeah.
I just don't like where this. I don't like this NFL teams outwardly tanking. This doesn't happen usually. Sometimes it happens organizational decisions in like the last week, but with 2 weeks to go, like Max Crosby who wanted to play, and you're just saying no, we're shutting you down. I don't like that. But
Well, the Raiders are a clown organization. Let's talk Bears 49ers. The Niners favored by 3.5, total sitting at 51.5. Both teams have locked up a playoff spot, but both are still fighting for seeding in the NFC, as we have discussed on tonight's episode. San Francisco has been significantly better than anybody is giving them credit for this season. Defense is obviously an issue, and it could be a problem tonight going up against a really potent Chicago Bears offense. But apparently Chicago folks are reporting that there are illnesses that are spreading around the locker room. So I don't know how bad or how many players this has impacted, but still, this is a more you know situation. I like
clinched divisionitis.
I like the 49ers tonight. Kendra, are you on anything for the Sunday night action?
I honestly think outside of our responsibilities, I'm probably done gambling until the postseason.
It was that ugly today?
Kendra's a
No, I said
a
this
hard and sharp
no.
slide.
I said this the other day. Like, I just don't love these last couple of weeks. This one particularly because of Christmas and everything going on. There's too many variables about people who need to win and need to lose, and I hate betting on games like that. I'm ready to move on to the postseason. I've had enough.
Evan's gonna fill in for Kendra. Evan likes
Kendra will just be over here cheering us on. Yeah.
You're doing
Luke
great,
Farrell.
sweetie.
First touchdown, 8-1. That's a horrible price. Oh, 80-1.
80 to 1.
Oh, that's
I was gonna say
crazy.
8-1. Evan has already started drinking for the new year.
Oh, yeah.
Luke Farrell, 80-1 first touchdown. I have nothing tonight. I mean, with the illnesses, I think Kittle got ruled out, right?
He is out.
That's a big loss. Like that's obviously not just because of what he can do in the passing game, but his blocking always just takes the 49ers offense to another level. The Bears have a bunch of injuries too that they're dealing with and illnesses, and I have nothing. I think the line is close to about fair. So
Jake Tonjes, by the way, backup tight end for the 49ers, plus 255 to get into the end zone. McCaffrey is a wild minus 250. I think a good way to bet McCaffrey, though, if you want to go anytime touchdown, you can bet him first half at plus 130. And then if you're just that desperate to bet him live, you'll probably get plus money after halftime. That'd be my way. If you just have to get Christian McCaffrey on your card, you would not do that.
I mean, I would not recommend just betting him first half, and if you get desperate, bet him live.
Well, never. I mean, in general, you shouldn't chase. But yes. I just understand the betting habits of people that are listening to this, and that's the way that I would go about it. But yes, you should not get desperate. That's a bad idea.
Bears win, and Bears win tonight. Bears beat the Lions next week. San Francisco beat Seattle. Bears 1 seed.
Say that one more time.
Nuts.
Bears win tonight.
Okay.
Beat the Lions, and San Francisco beats the Seahawks. Bears are the 1 seed.
Very
and
doable.
Additionally, Chargers beat the Broncos next week, and Jags beat the Titans, and the Dolphins beat the Patriots. That's how your Jags get to the 1 seed.
I know, it's ugly. It's so ugly.
Also kind of doable. with all of those,
What are you gonna
especially
do?
with the way Quinn Ewers.
Quinn Ewers.
The Dolphins playing in January at Foxborough. Are you insane?
I mean, I think the Patriots have to play. Is there a line out for that game yet?
I have not for the Patriots Dolphins game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta be
I
like
see
We
the
do
Patriots
have
have
one.
to
It's
play.
10,
I see 10.
10.5 on
Yeah, they
DraftKings.
have to play.
minus
They're gonna have to.
110.
They're gonna schedule them at the same time as the Broncos. And then there's a chance that the Chargers sit guys. So the Patriots. I don't know. So like the Patriots could just say like based on what the Broncos are doing, they could end up eventually sitting us. I don't know. We'll get to that during the week. By the way, Miles Garrett. Before we get to Monday Night Football, Miles Garrett on today's game versus Pittsburgh. To an extent, they were more worried about keeping me. This is what the quote. To an extent, they were more worried about keeping me away from Aaron Rodgers than getting the win. That's what came back to bite them. I was screaming that the entire game. Imagine
Pathetic.
sacrificing your playoff chances so that you weren't on a highlight of Myles Garrett getting the record. Unbelievable.
That's why they say throw out the record books when these teams play each other for that exact reason. Monday Night Football. Dun, 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 dun. Rams at Falcons. Falcons 7-point dogs, total at 49.5. Let's get to our DraftKings Monday Night Football fast pass parlay before we settle in for the night game. Numbers been beaten up a little bit, but at a touchdown and an extra point, I still like the hard charging Atlanta Falcons. I don't think they quite qualify for the Stuckey trend of team that needs to win against a team that's eliminated. They don't qualify. However, I do like the way the Falcons have looked the last couple of weeks. Plucky, and the Rams are still without Devontae Adams. That impacts them offensively. Puka Nacua, it seems like at least once a game, he has to be checked out by somebody. If there's even a question in this game as we inch closer to the postseason, they will remove him from the football game. I like the Falcons here catching 7. Kendra, what about you?
I'm going to go with Puka for an anytime. It seems like a guarantee every single week. So in a parlay, I'm going to chase it at the price. Minus 150, I think it is on DraftKings. I think I just checked that. It has changed since our podcast started, so I want to make sure.
You are correct. Stuckey, round out the fast pass.
I like the Falcons too. I think the line's a little bit too high. Rams have offensive line injuries too. Devontae Adams. I will. Let's go with. I mean, I got to check these prices, but should we go? Because I was going to go with the Falcons, so I'm doing this on the fly.
You still want Colby Parkinson? Or we would have 2 Rams touchdowns. This would be a very non-correlated parlay.
Let's go Bijan 40 plus receiving yards.
All right.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
That.
Okay. That's.
So we have that would be what's that pay? Plus 450.
Boom. Falcons plus 7. Puka Nacua anytime touchdown scorer. Bijan Robinson at least 40 receiving yards at plus 450 over on DraftKings, where the crown is yours. The favorites will return on Tuesday, back to a normal schedule next week. I believe we are going to be right here on the Action Network YouTube page talking Week 18 in the NFL, and we are going to give Stuckey the floor.
Are we regular schedule?
I don't think we'll be regular schedule. New Year's Day.
Okay, well let's check
Production.
live
What do we
with
do?
production.
We might do everything on Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh,
We'll talk about it after this. See, we want to have a sidebar about this, but
We'll be back
either
this
way,
week sometime. We'll definitely be back Tuesday.
and we're definitely going to give Stuckey the floor for at least 15 minutes to break down all the machinations of what teams need to do and don't need to do, so that we can bet
I will
properly.
be rambling.
We look forward to it. Good luck with all of your bets tonight. We'll see you next time here on the favorites presented by DraftKings.